You don't go looking for it. It finds you, as if it yearns to be born. In the hush between two breaths, in the quiet throb of a restless heart, when the noise can't grow louder and the silence can't grow any deeper, poetry is born. It stops you mid-rhythm, mid-thought, mid-fall. In waves of emotion that crash like wreckage, in the tenderness of truth, in the brutality of honesty, in the brightness of darkness, and the shadows cast by joy, poetry begins to take shape. When words lined in an order throw your soul into a beautiful disorder, it whispers from pages, old books, worn and loved. It creates magic out of stone, lights fire in a flowing river, becomes a storm inside a perfect calm. It knocks you down when you are still and brings you peace when you are running. Not to impress, but to feel. To feel when pain finally lets go. Every verse, a heartbeat. Every line, a mirror. A lesson, a truth. A wound, healing. Poetry, it stitches memories, weaves heartbreak, a fabric longing to be held, a flower aching to bloom, a wind that carries fragrance through the folds of a quiet evening. Like the night draped in silver, lit by a full forgiving moon. That, undeniably, is poetry.
Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, I must request the people sitting at the back, if it is possible for you to fill up the seats up front, that will be great. Fill up the seats up front, yes, if it is possible. The people sitting at the back can come forward. Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone, to the book launch of Luminara, a poetry anthology by Bindu Unnikrishnan. Instead of saying esteemed members of the audience, respected dignitaries, let me simply begin with the words of Boris Pasternak. Before we even begin with that, let me introduce you to something we do in poetry circles. We do this. Can we have a few people doing this? Can we do this? Yes. We do this to show appreciation for the words recited over here. So today is an evening where you'll be hearing words, verses, stanzas, any line which truly touched you, which impacted you, which left an impression in your mind. I would want you to do. Show your appreciation through. That's my first instruction. Let's move on to Boris. Poetry is a rich, full-bodied whistle. It is cracked ice, crunching in pails. It is the night that numbs the leaf. It is a duel of two nightingales. It is a sweet pea that has run wild. It is creation's tears in shoulder blades. You must have realized that this is not a typical program. It is not supposed to be. It is a program for poetry. It endeavors to have poetry as a foundation flame, poetry as a key ingredient, and poetry as the garnish. So, and we all know why we are here. For whose poetry? It is pretty apparent to us, very obvious, but will take some time getting there. And it is up to me to see if I can make it worth your while we do so. Yes? So, before we move forward, I have to introduce you to the person you will be listening to for the rest of the evening. Myself. Otherwise, it will be a person speaking at you. not a person speaking to you. And there's a whole lot of difference between that. There are educators in the audience. I'm sure they don't know the difference between speaking at students and speaking to students. So here's me, myself. And believe it or not, I'll need to consult my notes while I introduce my own self. So, my name is Saad Ahmed. I'm an assistant professor of English at Modern College and Symbiosis School of Liberal Arts, Viman Nagar. I'm pursuing, or rather being pursued by PhD at the moment. I am also the co-founder of Baitak and Beyond, a poetry community in the city, where we hold sessions on poetry, workshop on poetry, across the month, across the city, across the year. I myself write in English and Hindustani, and I've been fortunate to be given this opportunity to host this program. I'm grateful and honored to be here. Continuing my earlier point of speaking, not speaking at you, I must firstly involve all of us in this program. And that is why I will be asking you questions in the middle. Questions to which there are expected answers by you. So that this is not only a one-way street, your typical traditional conventional hosting, the program where you simply listen, but you also participate. All right? So my first question to you would be, who are we celebrating here today? Anybody? Yes, ma'am? Who are we celebrating here today? Bindu, ma'am. Yes. Anybody knowing the name of the poetry anthology that we have here today? Luminara. Now, please understand, I'm only warming up, so these are not the questions that I'll be expecting of you. I'm throwing softballs, okay? Nonetheless, let us now begin. Heard melodies are sweet. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Does anyone know whose line this is? Famous English poet? Anybody? Now this is one to stump you. Thank you so much. The famous English romantic poet John Keats. Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for the correct answer. Thank you. Thank you so much. John Keats. Before I took the mic to speak, we were graced with a heard melody, a beautiful rendition of a beautiful poem. The recitation was carried out by Vamia Rahman. Vamia, who is our eloquent reciter, studies in grade 11. Her interests lie in karate, painting, and writing, and she aspires to have a career in computer science. The other on the violin, the other artist on the violin was Shanam Rahman. Shanam, with the violin, she studies in grade 7 and has interest in karate, like her sister, athletics, and violin herself. She aspires to be a doctor. Thank you so much, Shanam and Vamia, for the introduction today. Thank you. Yes, and let us now move ahead. Today is about poetry. Poetry. Again, a question that I'm throwing at you. What are other words that we know for poetry in other languages? Anyone? Kavya. Okay. Bengali. Kavita. Yes. Yes, ma'am? Same? Kavita. Yes. Shairi. What else? Do we have more names here for poetry? Very good. Vadya. Padya. Padya. Very good. Okay, let us have a clap, round of clap for the sweet kid. Okay, thank you. Today the word for poetry will be Luminara. Luminara. Those interested in etymology will be able to figure out the meaning of Luminara simply by the letters themselves. Those without any idea will be able to discern the meaning of Luminara from the visuals we have here. Yes? Luminara meaning light, illumination. And that is what we are here to celebrate. We are here for light, we are here for illumination, we are here for Luminara. In that spirit, let us make this an auspicious beginning with the lighting of the lamp. I request our chief guest, Ms. Sonali Rasal, to come up here. Yes. We are a country of diversity and understanding. We understand the protocols of not having a fire indoors here in this hall. So, as a special lighting of the lamp, I request Sonali ji to light up the special lamp we have for this one, for this occasion. Yes, I'm pretty sure the gods will be pleased with the technique we have found here to adhere to the protocol and to the auspicious beginning as well. Beautiful. Thank you so much. The precursor to the session began with poetry, and the formal beginning begins with prayer. After the lighting of the lamp, I now invite Shri Sant for a soulful prayer song. Let me introduce her. Shri Sant is an accomplished teacher and a gifted singer who has successfully completed her Madhyam Purna from Gandharva Sangeet Mahavidyalaya. I request Ms. Sant to take the stage.
Mata Saraswati Sharada, Mata Saraswati Sharada, He Mata Saraswati Sharada, Vidyadani Dayani Dukha Harini Jagat Janani Jwalamukhi Mata Saraswati Sharada, He Mata Saraswati Sharada, Kije Sudrushti, Kije Sudrushti, Sevak Jaan Apna, Itna Vardaan Dije, Taan Taal aur Alap, Buddhi Alankar, Sharada, He Mata Saraswati Sharada, Vidyadani Dayani Dukha Harini Jagat Janani Jwalamukhi Mata Saraswati Sharada, He Mata Saraswati Sharada. Thank you.
Now, typically, I would say a couple of words describing how beautiful the sound was, but I just promise you that all of us will be involved in this program. So now I ask you, what was the word, what is the word that comes to mind after having listened to the Saraswati Vandana? Anybody? the word that comes to your mind right now after having listened to this beautiful, soulful song. Blissful, soulful, melodious, hopeful, hopeful. So now, I thank Shirish ji for a beautiful, melodious, hopeful, soulful, blissful rendition of the Saraswati Vandana. Let us now move ahead to rendition of a Guru Vandana by Kiana Kabir. Guru Vandana, and very apt considering that we are just one day away from September and 5 days away from Teachers' Day. So Guru Vandana, we are here to witness Guru Vandana by Kiana Kabir. Kiana is, as you can see, a cheerful 7-year-old from St. Joseph School. She loves diving into books and getting lost in amazing stories. Dancing makes her happiest, and she's a budding Kathak dancer. So I would request you to put your hands together for Kiana. Well, I'm pretty sure they deserved a louder round of applause. Yes. And I'm sorry to be a teacher, but I did promise you. So for Kiana, what words do we have? Splendid. Graceful. Awesome. Elegant. So Kiana, thank you so much for your graceful, elegant, awesome, and splendid, oh my God, and splendid performance. Thank you so much, Kiana. Badhiya. And now, let me introduce you to our chief guest of this evening, Ms. Sonali Rasal. Ms. Sonali is a Pune-based landscape architect. She calls poetry her friend, philosopher, and guide. She writes in 3 languages, Marathi, Hindi Urdu, Hindustani, and English. She has been involved in the Pune poetry circuit since 2017. She's a co-founder of 2 poetry communities in Pune, Anjuman Open Mic and Corinthians Lit Meet. Ms. Rasal was invited to be a poet performer at the reputed Tata International Literary Festival 2023 in Mumbai, and in the Pune Book Festival 2023, and in Jashn-e-Adab's Cultural Caravan 2024. She is the winner of Triveni Haiku Awards 2024 and has been published in the Modern Haiku Press in their collection Haiku 2025, 100 poems by 100 poets. Her collection of poems, her book, #The L Word, has been well received at the Goa Book Fair 2023 and the World Book Fair 2024 in Delhi. Ms. Rasal has also been the festival curator for Malacca Lit Fest 2024 and the Pune World Book Day Festival at MIT World Peace University for 2 years, 23 as well as 24. I request Ms. Sonali to please come up to the front here. Let's give it. And I request our poet of the evening, Bindu, to felicitate Ms. Sonali Rasal. And now towards the moment we are all here for, the unveiling and formal book launch of Luminara, Bindu Unnikrishnan's labor of love and poetry. To unveil the book, I request our chief guest, once again, Ms. Sonali Rasal, our poet, Bindu Unnikrishnan, the director of Nyra Publishers, and Mr. and Mrs. Unnikrishnan, to please come up here. Along with them, I request Deepa Unnikrishnan and Tanisha Sohini to come up to the stage. Staging area. Mr. and Mrs. Unnikrishnan, Bindu's parents, must be very proud to attend their daughter's poetry book launch. And I'm pretty sure, along with them, Deepa Unnikrishnan, her sister, and Tanisha, her daughter, are proud here as well. Thank you. And now we come to the light behind Luminara, the poet of the evening, Bindu Unnikrishnan. Before she takes the podium, I would like to introduce her formally and speak about my own experience with Luminara. To introduce Bindu, she's a poet, author, and educator who breathes life into words with emotion, depth, and vivid imagery. She's a prolific writer, and you know this by the over 60 books of poetry that she has co-authored, and several literary magazines as well. Her evocative storytelling has won her praise and many national-level poetry contests. Her debut poetry collection, My Treasure Trove of Emotions, captured hearts with its lyrical beauty and evocativeness. She is also won titles such as Mrs. Maharashtra 2023, Beauty with Brains, and Beauty with Purpose. She embodies grace, she embodies intellect and compassion. She breathes, lives, and wears poetry. The last one quite literally so. The sari that she is wearing today has hand-painted her own poem, her first poem. Yeah, please, thank you so much. Please, come on. The sari has her first ever poem hand-painted on it by rural women from Murshidabad. And the beauty of art being that the women who themselves could not speak nor write English did write poetry. And so, yes. She certainly made a lasting impact on me through her words. Luminara, poetry that touches the soul. She captivated me with poems like Melodies of Hope and The Voice of a Chauvinist. Sample this from Melodies of Hope. Now please listen to me, and I'm sure you will snap at the right time without having me give you the cue. Melodies of Hope. Just a few lines. When soldiers limp back home, yet the major is missing, his family shuts out the odds, turning their hearts into beacons, lighting a path only hope can see. For it is here, in stubborn waiting, that hope becomes the strongest song. You're getting it, Yes, badhiya. Bindu has the poetic ability to make her words felt, paint an image, and play with words at the same time. William Wordsworth, the famous English romantic poet, once wrote that poetry is a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origins from emotion recollected in tranquility. With Bindu's poems, you feel both the tranquility and the feelings together. Without further ado, Please welcome Bindu Unnikrishnan to the podium with a thundering round of applause.
Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. I was counting my star. If out of 135 shows up, I have passed. So it's more than that. I'm truly privileged to be in the company of our esteemed guest of honor, Sonali ji, an accomplished poet whose presence adds such grace to this evening. A big thank you to our delightful and handsome host, Saad Ahmed, who is a co-founder of Pune Poetry Club. One reason I hired him is because I will get an entry there to perform next time. He's a brilliant poet himself, and I've been stalking both of them on social media. And of course, my writers, reviewers, educators, influencers, and fellow dreamers. Honestly, I half expected to be reading poem to an empty room, and poets are actually used to it. Seeing all of you here makes this feel like Avengers of literature. Only instead of superpower, I just have a pen. So in the morning, I had some 10 to 12 cancellation, and I was getting very disheartened. I said, who will come for my function? I also thought if it was my wedding, maybe perhaps people will come. And while I was getting disheartened, I received an email, none other than my chairman, Dr. Ashok Vikhe Patil. And I'm so glad. And I want to quote something he has written to me. I have great respect for poets like you because they find the right expression for feelings and thoughts which is impossible for a common man like you. So I salute you. This not just made my mood, but just made my day. I learned something instantly. Never judge a book by its cover. I was always scared of him. His words are why I'm standing here still smiling. So thank you very much, sir. Now about Luminara. This is my second solo book. My first book was My Treasure Trove of Emotion, which was published under a writing challenge. It was a 21-day writing challenge. And the catch was, once you upload a poem, you can't get to edit it. So this I would consider as my first book officially because I have edited it at least 5 times. So Luminara, the word was inspired by a festival known as Luminara in Italy. A festival of light, but not very loud like Diwali. It's like something which is subtle lighting, which is enough to take away the darkness. So as the name suggests, most of you know that I'm a physicist. I'm a physics teacher. And coming up with a book like Luminara, people thought that I'm trying to talk about photons, wave-particle duality, because that's what I do 90% of the time. Instead, it's about light that we carry within us. Those quiet sparks that appear when everything feels dim. The tiny glimmers that remind us, even in our darkest hours, life still has beauty to offer. The book is divided into 7 sections. Many of you here have read it, but it's available for sale. If you have not bought it, please buy it. Book sections are Illusions of Love, The Longings, Moods and Shades, Moving On, Perspectives, Magical Woman, and my favorite, Through the Tinted Glass. Each section is like a window into a different seasons of heart. Think of it as a roller coaster of emotions, but without the seat belt and a warning sign. Inside you will meet unspoken love, betrayal, happiness, joy, hope, resilience. Some poems will sting, some will soothe, and a few may leave you asking, was she okay when she wrote this? The honest answer is probably not. That's the magic of poetry, right? It turns restlessness into rhythm, pain into possibility, silence into something that finally speaks. In nutshell, this book is the mess in my mind, real emotions, the raw metaphors, imperfect sentences that doesn't sit straight. Still, it will hit you in your gut. A little story I want to share here. My class teacher in class 7th wrote in my report card, Bindu is extremely expressive and excessively talkative. Till today, I haven't figured out whether that was a compliment or a complaint. But I took it very seriously, and here I am, still talking, and nobody has told me yet, time's up. So people often ask, why poetry? Why not a novel or a thriller that will sell like hotcakes? Maybe someday Netflix will pick it up. And my honest answer is, why sweat through 300 pages of plot twist and moody characters when I can pour my heart and soul into 12 sentences and still have time for coffee with Sophia? Thrillers demand suspense. Poetry demands emotions. And believe me, I've had that in wholesale. If emotions were sold on Amazon, I would be the prime supplier. Here I am, selling my hesitations, my flaws, and want you to feel my trembling hands when I wrote these poems. Now let me confess, publishers usually don't pick up poetry. I had that experience with Penguin, Bloomsbury. They all said, honestly, it's not like you're not writing. It doesn't sell. Poetry is not for sale. Then guess what happened? Nyra happened to me as a lucky accident. Thanks to my dear friend Grace Sitaraman. She's a friend whom I have never met, but she's so close to my heart. I met her in a writing group virtually. We shared the same struggles and inspired each other. Through her, I connected with Nyra, and the day I signed the contract, you will not believe I got 2 more contracts, one from a UK publisher. So Nyra, you are my official lucky charm. And now a teaser. My next book is a collection of short stories which I have been writing for last 2 years. And honestly, poetry just happened in between the pauses I took while writing those stories. It's like snack between meals. In my case, snack became the main course. And here I am, after 75 poems, presenting to you my Luminara. If you're thinking, poetry isn't my cup of tea, wait and watch while I come up with my next short stories. Maybe a thriller in future, but it will also end might be with a poem. So on a serious note, Luminara is very close to my heart. These poems are my silent shouts. They turn wounds into verses, silence into strength, emptiness into growth, while life buried my dreams without funeral, poetry resurrected me. Some of these poems are born out of contest, prompts, others from borrowed heartbreaks and unspoken longings. In writing them, I have lived several lives, felt many tears, laughed at myself countless times. To my dearest friends, many of you are here, many of them are maybe watching it live. Thank you for supporting me endlessly. Sometimes reading my poems 3-4 times and pretending to like them. To my readers, if you ever come across a poem which is making you bored, think of it as a minimalistic art and move on. This evening is not just about a book launch. It's about connection, laughter, and maybe a spark of inspiration. Luminara is my reminder that even in the life's power outages, we can find our own light. So here's holding on to that light. Here's to words that heal, emotions that bind, poetry that speaks even when silence can't. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you for being here. I want to mention here, while many of my close friends cancel, there are friends whom I have not seen and who are here. Thank you so much for being here. They were just part of the poetry group where I was, and they came here to support me. So thank you for celebrating with me. And now let's send officially Luminara into this world and let it bring some shine into your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Binduji. Let us continue. Like one more round of applause for Binduji. And I must apologize for my terrible pun, but your words were delightful. And I'm sure the audience agrees as well. And okay, sorry to you as well for the terrible pun, but yes. Remember when I spoke of heard melodies? Well, it's time for one again. I invite once again to the podium Shanam Rahman for a violin performance. Please put your hands together for Shanam Rahman. Thank you so much, Shanam. And you know what I'm going to do next. How would you describe Shanam's performance, everybody? Yes? Melodious, awesome, splendid. We can't reuse melodious, awesome, and splendid. We'll need more words. Come on. Soulful. Yes? Scintillating. Yes, thank you so much for scintillating. Mesmerizing. Now we are talking. Huh? Loudly, loudly. Lovely. And one more. Sweet. So thank you, Shanam, for this sweet, lovely, mesmerizing, and scintillating performance. Please. Lovely. Yes, I did say lovely. I said lovely. Don't worry. Acha, okay. Thank you. Now, all of you are here for Luminara. You are here to take your fill of Bindu Unnikrishnan's poetry. Well, to give you a glimpse into the book, we shall now begin with a section of our program devoted to her words and their impact on the reader. To begin, let us welcome Dr. Bharati Kudchadker. Please put your hands together for Dr. Bharati Kudchadker. She's a passionate educator, a lifelong learner with a PhD in English, and has 26 years of experience, over 26 years of experience teaching English to high school students. In Dr. Bharati's words, poetry isn't just literature, it is rhythm, emotion, and revelation. So, I present to you Bharati.
Good evening to everyone present here. I'm not going to give a very formal speech because this is just reminding me of school and the number of times that I have had to host or compare. In fact, all the noise that we are getting in from outside is reminding me of how I'm forced to raise my voice just in order to be heard in all the circus of the annual days, which is going on right now, actually. So I'm going to start off with a brief introduction of my connection with Bindu, and then I'm going to take you through her book. I've known Bindu for the last almost 17 years. She was usually found seated in the biology lab. Yes, the physics teacher, marooned among jars of mysterious floating creatures, while I, the English teacher, having no business with either biology or physics, I would wander in now and then with a pile of answer sheets threatening to collapse like a badly built experiment. It was in that unlikely setting that a friendship was forged. Shared laughter, shared food, and a healthy dose of teacherly grumbling turned 4 colleagues into companions. 3 of them were science teachers, united by laws of matter, motion, and thermodynamics. And then there was me, the lone literary spirit. I was the odd one out, happily orbiting their system. Our bond stretched well beyond school hours, strengthened by fun outings and even rambunctious mealtimes. But here's what I never guessed. Bindu had secret ambitions, not to discover a new law of physics, but to become a writer. The revelation came one Teacher's Day during a staff development program. A very dignified name for a teacher's picnic. When she casually announced she wanted to write a book. But the surprises didn't end there. Suddenly, Bindu appeared with poker straight hair and nails so long and polished they could have been repurposed as laser reflectors. And then came the real shocker. She was preparing for the Mrs. Maharashtra pageant. Whew. Not only did she compete, but she also went ahead and won it in the elite category. Proof that she can balance equations in physics and also the balance beam on a catwalk. That's Bindu for you. Whatever she sets her mind to, she sees it through. No inertia, no friction, only momentum. She went on to publish short stories and poetry, amass medals and certificates at a rate that could rival exponential growth. And last year, she released her first book, My Treasure Trove of Emotions. Today, I stand here with double pride, as her friend first and as her reviewer too. Her new collection, Luminara, unfolds like the seasons of the heart, sometimes stormy, sometimes radiant, always deeply human. There's a raw honesty in her verses, the ache of love unsaid, the quiet pain of waiting, but also the gentle resilience of hope and transformation. Each poem has its own sparkle, but let me highlight a few. The clasp of taboo questions norms that demand we erase ourselves. Almost not forever captures the heartbreak of a love that could never be. Illusion called love reminds us that affection can sometimes feel like a gilded cage. And then there's Melodies of Hope, which insists that hope is not fleeting, but fundamental to who we are. On a larger canvas, she takes on injustice, whose honor strikes at the cruelty of honor killings, while No More Chains becomes a quiet revolution, a woman's voice claiming the right to her own story. Luminara is more than a poetry collection. It's a mirror. It doesn't just speak, it listens, it comforts, it inspires. Truly, it's a luminous triumph, almost like light itself, both particle and wave, depending on how you hold it. Now, choosing a favorite is impossible, like asking a physics teacher to pick between Newton and Einstein. But if I must, I'll go with Melodies of Hope. It reminded me, I think I'm kind of like, going with what Saad said. He also quoted from Melodies of Hope. I almost had my heart in my mouth when he started quoting from it, but then I realized maybe it has struck a chord there as well. It reminded me of Alexander Pope's famous line, "Hope springs eternal in the human breast." And if I may add, a physics twist, hope, like energy, never really disappears. It simply transforms. And as I recite this poem, I'm sure you'll see why it touched me so deeply. Melodies of Hope by Bindu Unnikrishnan. When you chant the Sahasranama, surrendered fully to the divine, while your loved one sleeps in a coma, and even the doctor shakes his head, yet you cling to faith. That is the quiet hope found in prayer. When villagers gather at a crackling bonfire on cracked, barren land, thirsting for rain, their crops already wilted, hands raised to the sky in plea, that is hope in the drought's harsh grip. When the couple next door tries in vitro once more, fifth time and counting, dreaming of tiny feet and lullabies to echo through their waiting home, that is hope, soft and persistent. When an aunt, her scalp bare, from the battle with cancer, adjusts her wig before the mirror, awaiting blood tests with trembling hands, that is hope, fragile yet unyielding. When little Allie, 3 and wild with mischief, still hasn't whispered even mama, her sobs caught in silent spaces, yet her parents hold her close, hoping for her first word, a miracle on her lips. When Ravi burns the midnight oil, wrestling with tangled letters and numbers, dyslexia and dyscalculia lurking at every turn, yet he prays just to pass, for wings to lift his dreams, that is hope, hidden in whispered prayers. When soldiers limp back home, I'm now reading what Saad read, yet the major is missing. His family shuts out the odds, turning their hearts into beacons, lighting a path only hope can see. For it is here, in stubborn waiting, that hope becomes the strongest song. And so, Bindu's words remind us, hope truly does spring eternal. It lifts us, steadies us, and lights the way forward. Today, I feel glad, not just as her reviewer, but as her friend, privileged to witness her journey from the laboratory to the literary stage, from equations to emotions, from resistors and pageants to poetry. Bindu, may your words continue to inspire, to challenge, and to heal. And may your luminous journey remind us all that it is never too late, not too ambitious to chase a dream. After all, if a physics teacher can spend years seated in a bio lab and still emerge as a queen, a poet, and an author, that truly means anything is possible. Thank you.
Let us now welcome back once again Shri Saad to share her experiences with Luminara. I welcome Shri Saad. Is she with us here? Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. The book says Luminara, the poetry that touches the soul. Very true to its title, all the poems in this collection strike a chord with the reader as they have come from Bindu's soul. When I read them, I felt like Bindu was talking to me. I met Bindu around 16 years ago. I too, being a physics teacher, was sitting in the biology lab with her. And we shared our birthdays in the same month. And so many things, we share with each other, apart from meals, gossip. So I have been all along with Bindu through her journey. And there were times when she expressed that she wanted to be a writer. I knew that she was an avid reader. We shared that passion for books, among many other things. So I would be like, okay, she wants to be a writer, even when I wanted to be a writer. But then, once, like Bharati has said, once Bindu sets her mind at something, she just does it, and does it with flying colors. And the same thing she has done with writing as well. So, it took her some time to, get these 2 books, but all this wait was worth its while. Because when you're reading this book, all the poems, they are coming straight from her heart, and they're talking to you, and it's as if she's expressing your own emotions. I liked all these poems, but there is one poem particularly that just, I liked it so much because it tells us to celebrate the ordinariness amongst the praise for all the extraordinariness that we hear all the time. So I'm going to read this poem. It says the ordinary extraordinariness. Here it goes. He kicked the ball, altering its course. Each time it curved on an untamed path. He never planned, just paused to wonder. And in the simple act of kicking, he found joy in the uncertainty. I marveled at the magic in the ordinary, and in its simplicity, I saw the extraordinary. The moment, the breath, the lingering gaze, no pressure, just the love of the game. Isn't life more about living than proving? Isn't joy brighter than grand pursuits? I watched laughter, light, unburdened, free, innocent in its simple spree, fleeting yet deep, like waves on the shore, a moment embraced, needing no more. Why chase extraordinary dreams when one can master the art of the simple? Life does not demand we conquer it, only that we cherish it. Why reach for what drifts beyond sight when we can hold what lingers bright? And so, in my open palms, my quiet wish still lingers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our next Luminator is Shubhangi Bapat. Shubhangi is a retired teacher, a voracious reader, and an artist with keen interest in painting. Please welcome Shubhangi Bapat.
So all my friends have already spoken and have taken all my words. Because I think, Bindu, we are so close to each other that if I have to describe you, all the words have already gone. But still, I have to read what I have expressed. Good evening, all. I'm feeling so delighted to be here for the book launch of my dear friend Bindu. I have known Bindu as a friend and colleague for several years. I have beautiful memories of the time when we used to share workplace, and that is biolab. During the time, we used to discuss and constructively argue on several topics ranging from books to clothes to fashion to travel and so on, and especially some authors. I was always aware of her acumen in writing skills, as she would write activity reports, play scripts, articles at ease. Several times she had expressed her desire to write. She would say, "Oh, I want to write a book," and my answer would be, "Well, maybe you should." I never knew that, okay? It will come so good. I knew at times that once she decides, she will definitely do it. Over the period of time, all the soulful words and thoughts which were always there inside her have come out in the form of beads woven into a string of thoughts. As the time passed, all the words and thoughts which were hidden have come out in the form of beads which have been woven by her into a string, into a string of immaculately written poem in this book, Luminara. This is her essence, her journey, her experience, which gives you immense pleasure while reading. My heartfelt compliments to dear Bindu for bringing this varied range of poems to us, and wish her best luck for many more to come. A weaver might weave a tapestry using different colored yarns. In the same way, she has poured her heart and soul in presenting a tapestry of emotions in the form of soft yet powerful poetry. To me, these are just the words which have come out from her in the form of beads, and she has woven them into a string of thoughts so soulful, so beautiful, so colorful. Congratulations once again, Bindu. Now, all the poems are so good, but I have chosen something which is a kind of related to my subject, biology. The tree that stands. Some friends are like the leaves, green when bright. They bask with you in golden light. They dance and sway with you in the breeze. Fleeting joy they bring with such ease. But when seasons turn, their colors fade. Their loyalty too begins to wane. When winds grow strong, they slip away, forgetting who once they let them stay. Some are branches firm yet frail. They shield you through the storm and hail, but burden them with soon they crack, too weak to hold, too quick to snap. Yet roots, oh roots, so deep they lie, through every storm they will still stand by. Unseen they weave beneath the ground, their silent strength is so pure, profound. So watch the season, heed the signs, let leaves depart, let branches break. Seek the roots, the quiet kind, for they are the ones who will never forsake. I hope that every one of us be the roots to each other. Thank you so much.
Do we have Ashita Pardesi in the audience? Yes. I now welcome Ashita Pardesi. She is an educator, an English teacher, And I'm pretty sure being an English teacher, she will have some truly illuminating take on Luminara for us. Please welcome Ashita Pardesi.
Good evening, everyone. Well, today I want to take you on my journey into a luminous world of Luminara, and of course take this opportunity to appreciate the craft of work by my colleague, Bindu ma'am. I call her Bindu ma'am. The book explores, of course, themes that are relatable, and they awake our inner soul. Okay? There have been times while reading the book where I was able to find myself, immersed in the human emotions and experiences while going through the verses. The theme is subtle, profound. In fact, it's an invitation into a world where language becomes illumination, like an intricately woven fabric of human emotions and experiences, a resonant as well as an introspective. The verses that take us through, helping us understand that at every juncture, these emotions, these experiences are being felt by us. We are feeling them even today, and of course, in future, we will be experiencing them. There's something very quiet and beautiful about the poems. The simple words, the cadence in every verse, I found myself reading certain lines not just to read, but to feel them, to delve into them. There have been amazing, momentous moments where I have paused to reflect. The poems have the strength to elevate even the quietest, part of our lives. What touched me the most in Luminara was the poet's ability to reveal what I only describe as the ordinary extraordinariness. To me, her craft invites us to slow down, to notice, and to realize that the ordinary, when truly seen, is already the extraordinary, ma'am. Therefore, it's a beautifully written introspective book that makes reading truly enriching. Being a language teacher and teaching students of grade 8, I have already selected, ma'am, some verses from some poems, age appropriate, of course, for attention. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this privilege and sharing my opinion, my thoughts about the book with you. When I was engrossed reading the book, my daughter also was motivated. Although she is a student of science, I realized that she does have, an inclination towards these soft skills, where she truly enjoyed this book because getting the book from her took me a task. Thank you so much, ma'am. And congratulations once again.
Well, with that, we conclude the section of sharing Luminara's words and thoughts by its readers. We now move on to the chief guest's address. I'm sure we are all waiting. I am especially waiting to hear Ms. Sonali Rasal's thoughts, and I invite her to share her words of wisdom and poetry with us. Please put your hands together for Ms. Sonali Rasal.
I love that this is such a festive season. We have the monsoons, we have Ganpati Bappa with us, and we have a book launch, a book of poems. I feel very close to poetry simply because in school I wasn't very good at languages. And I realized poetry has got nothing much to do with language as much as it has got to do with seeing with new eyes. So if you ask a poet Where does he write from or she writes from? They don't know. They will lie. They will say a few things. Oh, somebody was in the hospital. I was sitting in the waiting room. I had nothing to do, so I wrote. Why doesn't everybody sitting in the waiting room write a poem? I was very sad. I had a heartbreak, so I wrote a poem. Everybody has a heartbreak. Give me a break. So why doesn't everyone write a poem? Simple. We have got poets in our culture who have been illiterate and have still written, I would say, have still thought poems, spread the word, and we today connect to a Kabir or a Ghalib. So it's more the vibration, the essence, than the language of the poem. And I think these poems need to travel. They need to meet new people, and they need to speak to them and touch them in a way only a poem can touch them. My go-to when I come with a book, so when this book was sent to me, or any book that I open, I go to the first page that pops up. And I say, this is for me. This poet has written this poem especially for me. So I am going to read the poem that popped up when I opened this book. It's called Silent Screams of Love. And I think it's apt because I need to scream to be heard above the noise. I am human. I love fiercely, insatiably. I hunger for it. Enough to plead, to seize, to dream it into being. I fear the emptiness love leaves behind, so I grasp, I cling, I refuse to let go. Yet beneath it all, I do not crave conquest, I only crave love. I love with trembling hands, with whispered prayers and silent screams, with the pain of unsaid words lodged deep within my ribs. I am not reckless, I am raw, unguarded, and true. I do not love to conquer or be conquered. I love it because it is the pulse in my veins, the fire in my chest, the sound of my name resonating in another person's heart. It's a beautiful poem. A stray thought that came when everybody was talking about Luminara was, maybe it's spelled this way, but I think it can be pronounced Luminara. For this yeah, I like the thundering applause that's coming from the gods. And I think it's wonderful to have a partnership. It's like the two batsmen at either wicket. And a publisher and a poet or an author need to know and balance and keep making those runs. And one ditches, the team loses. It's as simple as that. So big round of applause to Nyra and Bindu partnership. May you have many more beautiful innings together. Unless one carries some light within, one cannot throw some light for others. Poetry brings us to a realization that the light is not about lighting someone else's path, but becoming your own light, your own truth. And others will know it, will see it, will feel it, experience it, if they choose to open their eyes. Poetry like Bindu's doesn't scream from rooftops and podiums. It silently seeps through the cracks in your heart, and I know you have them, many. It seeps in like rainwater, slowly, steadily, without you knowing. And the poetry stays there, nourishing everything you plant as a seed. With Luminara, I can safely say, I see light, I see honesty, I will plant a seed. Thank you, Bindu. Thank you so much.
It is? Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Rasal. Your words were truly illuminating for us. I now request, and we now approach the final leg of our evening. Kiana will once again enthrall us with a dance to conclude this evening of poetry and art with a song of national integrity. I welcome Kiana with words from Bindu's poem, Symphonies of Diversity. Now pay attention. If colors could speak, they'd weave their own story. Not just the blue, nor the red in particular, nor the warm orange or the gentle brown hue, but when blended together, pure white ensue. Please welcome Kiana with a round of applause, everybody.
Vande Mataram, Mataram, Vande 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 Mataram, Vande
When you hear the words vote of thanks, everybody gets a bit shifty. Now is the time to get up and get moving. But I request all of you to stay seated till I am done with the vote of thanks, till I give you the cue that now we are done. So please, I invite you to suffer through my gratitude as I offer the vote of thanks here. I offer my heartfelt gratitude first and foremost to IISER and IISER's director, Dr. Sunil Bhagat, for extending this beautiful space for this evening of poetry. I'm grateful to Ms. Sonali Rasal for accepting the invitation to be here, for sharing her time and her words with us. I thank our poet of the evening, not only for this opportunity to host, but also for Luminara, for her words, for her poetry. I thank Dr. Shouvik Datta, Bindu's husband, for his hard work in ensuring all the permissions were in place for Luminara's release. I thank Nyra Publishers for this poetry in print and for their immaculate organization of this evening. It went by without a hitch. For videography and photography, we have Vibhav Shinde and Atharva Kulkarni. I thank them for capturing this program with such skill and dedication, for making sure all guests and attendees here have not only their fill of poetry, but also their fill of delicious food. I thank Pratap Caterers. Finally, I'll not say last but not the least, finally, the ones to thank for their presence, their attention, and the love of poetry. I thank you, the ones who came together and made this evening possible. Yes. Yes. And now, for my final act as host, I draw your attention to our sound, to the sound here. I thank please clap for the sound here, Dr. Ashish Chavan, for ensuring that despite all the noise from outside and from within, we were able to have a smooth event. Thank you so much. And now, I draw your attention to our poet, Bindu Unnikrishnan, who will be seated at the table to your left. I invite you to get your own signed copies of Luminara at a discount, with special signature, her own autograph, and special Luminara merchandise. Please be sure to get your pictures clicked and enjoy the poet's interaction at the poet's table. You're also invited to help yourselves to the sumptuous dinner at the end of the hall, courtesy Pratap Caterers. I leave you with verses from Bindu's poem, Swaddled in Words. And this will be the last snapping that we do. I leave you with verses from Bindu's poem, Swaddled in Words. A word can wound like a sharpened spear, piercing deep, igniting fear. But some words come like morning light, chasing shadows, making things right. Thank you so much.